So, good evening to you, Flora, and thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule and joining with me on this podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here, Janelle. Thank you for the invitation.
And I would like to tell my viewers that Flora runs like a kind of club, like that is Walk and Talk Club, and you have been doing it for, I guess, more than 7 years, right? With your partner.
It's been 20 years since I started, but
Okay,
Walk and Talk Club itself has been running for since 2016. So nearly 10 years, yeah.
intriguing. And Flora, kindly tell me something more about that. I know that it's like related to health, and I'm a big like health is a big part of my life, so I'm really intrigued to know what exactly do you do with your club and how it benefits people in general.
Well, Janelle, I'll start off by saying, relating to how it helped me personally first.
Okay.
So when I first joined the walking group, I was a young mother, and that weekend, just before I joined, I'd lost my cousin who I was very close to, and I was really, really just in a really sort of bad place. And I went to this walking group, and it honestly just changed my life in the sense that, first of all, just the community around me. There's something about walking with people who are, I think if you're exercising together, you're already kind of like-minded in a sense, and just the support, the love, from the people. Then, of course, you're walking in these most beautiful green spaces, which we know is very therapeutic. I mean, there's something about walking in nature that is there's nothing I think that can replicate that. It's just the Japanese call it the Shinrin Ryoku, that's right. And it really is that. It is really a forest bathing, which is it's just been amazing for me.
Wow. And when it comes to this group, how often do you do it? Is it on regular basis or once in a week? Like, tell me more.
So we walk 3 times a week. So we've
Okay.
got two groups. I do the foster group, so more challenging walks, and then we've also got a group for people who don't really want to be challenged or are a little bit older and maybe can't keep up. But this is something for everybody. And so we walk 3 times a week, except on a Thursday, it's only my group because it's a very tough walk. We walk uphill, downhill, through the trees, up the tree, over roots. It's incredible. So that's just the walking part. But I have to tell you, Janelle, that our USP, I would say, is that we walk quietly. We don't talk while we're walking.
Okay.
It's a time for us it's just a time to still your mind, in today's busy life. We don't have time to just stop and be with our thoughts. And for a lot of people, that's terrifying.
Sure.
They actually don't want to be alone with their thoughts, but it is so therapeutic and really, really important. And then after that is the time when we come together and we have a coffee together and we have our talking parts. And then also once a month, I plan an outing. So we go to a museum or we go for a lunch. And recently we went on a trip away together and it was really, really well received. And it's a great way for people to bond together.
Wow, that sounds fascinating. And Flora, as you go in the jungles, and so the question is, do you live closer to the countryside, or do you like live in the city and you go to countryside for these walks?
No, well, you know what London does very, very well. Actually, I should say the UK, not just London, is that we've got amazing green spaces around us.
Okay.
So it's not just one big concrete jungle. We do have beautiful, beautiful parks, and we make use of them. And some of them are a little more manicured, but mostly it's left quite wild, but sort of curated in a way. It's not just it is very, very well looked after. There are a lot of volunteers who come and dig up and make sure that the trees are healthy and, all that kind of thing. And we're so, so lucky to have that. It's free, it's on our doorstep, and it's easy, it's really easily accessible. And I think that's very important. You are wanting to embark on a journey like this, you have to find a space where you can do that, where you can just go and be in nature. I think it's very important.
Wow. And I'm thinking about all the benefits, like you get the people, community, then walking, talking, there are like on all the pros and there are no cons of it or the work that you do. It's really like beautiful.
Well, I guess if you speak to the walkers, maybe the one con for them would be they walk in all types of weather. So London is quite rainy. So, we're not fair weather walkers. We do, but we kit up. We put on our waterproof clothes. We walk, we have very good walking shoes, and we walk. We walk through the mud. The only time we would cancel a walk is if there's ice on the ground because obviously we don't want anybody to fall. But other than that, rain, shine, winter, summer, we are walking.
Hmm.
And I think that's also been, funny enough, a walker remarked recently that uh, obviously we love walking in the summer, and at this time of the year, it's the most beautiful, beautiful time. But they find that walking in the winter has been very beneficial because otherwise you lock yourself up indoors, you're sitting on the sofa, you're making a cup of tea. But here you go out and yes, it's cold and yes, it's hard, but there's that camaraderie. You're all in this together. Like, come on, let's go and do it, and afterwards you feel amazing, absolutely amazing.
Wow. I can think of you as the that character of Rocky from Sylvester Stallone. Like you are creating the path and everyone is running behind you and you are going there. So I can visualize of that thing. The work that you are doing is really commendable, Flora. Nice.
Thank you, Janelle. I try and do something different each time. I don't follow the same path because firstly, for me as a person, I get bored easily. So I like to challenge myself. And then I can see that the walkers love it as well. I say, oh my goodness, we haven't seen that before. Or, how do you know where to go? And it's just, I mean, after doing it all these years, it becomes instinct. You just have a feeling for where you are. When I first started leading the walks, I would go early in the morning and go and work out where I'm going to go. But now I know where I am. So I like to do something different each time. And also, I think you never know when the walk's going to finish. So it's really, you can just let go. You have complete trust, I'm hoping in me. And I also have a back marker at the back. So you won't get lost. You are very well looked after. So it is, you can just let your guard down and, you know, don't
Hmm.
worry about your shopping list. Honestly, just let your thoughts go.
Nice. It's a great thing. And apart from walking, I'm sure you must be a health conscious person. So what other things do you do to, maintain your health, Flora?
Well, I've always been an active person. I've always enjoyed exercise. So, um, okay, so exercise-wise, I also do Pilates. Even though we do Pilates type stretches during our walking, I think it's very, very important to stretch your body. I see you do yoga, so
Yeah.
I don't need to be telling you how important stretching is. And then recently, I joined a bounce class. Have you heard of that at all? It's these
Uh,
mini trampolines that you jump on,
okay. Yeah.
and so very good for lymphatic drainage. It's
Okay.
come from South Africa, so as you can hear, I'm South African from descent, and so I do that as well. And then obviously nutrition is so, so important. So I do try and eat healthily. I don't get it right all the time, but I do try to get it right most of the time. I do intermittent fasting. I also take supplements, and most importantly, I do try and sleep well. I think that's very, very
That's
important.
it. Yeah. Wow. Nice. And if ever your group, entire group want to take like yoga class, I'll give a free yoga class on weekends. So ping me anytime and we'll conduct an online yoga class where all of us can do yoga.
Ah, yeah, I would love to offer an online walking class, but it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
I'll take you with me through the woods.
And after doing this walk, when you talk, like, are there any topics that you particularly discuss, or that's just random topics?
Well, you know what I love about the group is firstly, a lot of them are very cultured, so they're well traveled. They go to the theater, they eat out a lot. So obviously we discuss all those. Oh, what have you seen recently? Do you recommend it? Everybody brings something to the group, and I think that's also important. I think that everybody feels like they're valued and that they're valuable.
Mm.
And so our theater buff, I would say, she will always come in. Sometimes she'll write critical reviews of theater shows or television programs. And that's just an added bonus that we give to the group. Then, because they all like eating out, they'll recommend somewhere. Then we'll plan a trip and we'll all go together. We'll do a walk and then we'll have a lunch. Um, but then obviously we talk about politics, what's going on in the country, what's going on in the world. But actually, the thing I think that we discuss the most is our families. We share. For me, like I said, when I came in as a young mom, it was such a plus I was in a different country, and it was scary for me. I didn't know the English system. So being with these people who've been through it and who would say to me, "Don't worry, everything will be okay. Don't stress about it." That was important for me, and I can never thank them enough. I mean, they've seen my kids through primary school, high school, university, and now working. So, and I've been with this group in all this time.
Mm. And wow, in one of the post, Flora, in context of family, you have written that there was an incident where two walkers, they were deeply into that, and they used to hug each other very often, and that connection was surreal. So tell us more about that.
Yes, I don't think she would mind me sharing. So, one of my walkers is going through something really difficult at the moment. Her husband had a stroke, and it's been really hard. She's seen this man who was active and a teacher and all those kind of things, and he's now wheelchair bound, and but she still brings him. She brings him to the walk, so he has a coffee with us, and he still feels like he's a part of the community. But what I love about my walkers is how they care for each other. And it's something that, my partner and I have also passed on to our group. We take really good care of our community. So if someone's in hospital and, they've had an operation, we'll make sure they get flowers and a card. But I don't even have to ask anybody. People will just do it on their own as well. So that, so even though we send from the group individually, they also send cards, but it's that human touch, that human connection, where two people just put their arms around each other and they just give each other that comfort to say, "Yeah, I'm here for you." So that's, I guess I think, and I guess we all go back to COVID as a kind of point that changed us a little bit when we couldn't be together. But yeah, I actually, funny enough, I did do Zoom sessions with my walkers. We used to just stretch together, and then we planned activities. I would do a little cooking course, or we did quizzes or things like that, just to keep the connection. Because I can see that the group is very, very important to them, and it's more than the walking, obviously.
Mhm.
They're not just there to walk, because sometimes, like I've said, it's hard to come and walk, and when the weather's just horrible, it's coming there and meeting your friends, your family. Actually, I should say we've become a family. That's what we've become.
Yeah, and today's world, I guess this is what the entire humanity needs. Like we are often glued to our screens. We don't usually have the time to spend with our near and dear ones. But this kind of thing, if communities like this exist, then it can really make the lives better. So it's,
And going forward, it's going to become even more important because, I'm all for technology, and I think technology has revolutionized our lives. I mean, we wouldn't be able to have this conversation if we didn't have technology. So I'm all for it, but
Mhm.
I'm also very, very much about our humanity and keeping that alive. And we do that by connecting with each other. We have to be together. We have to meet. Yeah, not if somebody calls me, I'll say, "Oh, are you free to meet quickly for a coffee?" I'd rather be with you in person because there's so much that you miss by, just texting somebody. You can't see how's that person feeling. So, I do have plans going forward on how I want to expand this concept because for me, it is about building community. And I want to do that in a bigger way. I mean, this has taught me a lot about how important it is. And I think going forward, it's going to be even more important. How do we keep our human connection going? How do we keep our intellectual conversations going? Our exchanging of ideas, that, something that's authentically human. That's what we need to hold on to, and we need to help each other to do that.
Sure. And Flora, like as you deal with a lot of people, I would like to know that what are some sort of challenges or difficulties modern families are facing nowadays?
Oh, everybody's worried about, addiction, of some sort. People are addicted to their screens. People are demotivated. People are fearful. Just talking to the walkers, they're worried about the future. The world looks very different from when they were younger. And the world for us going forward is going to be monumentally different. And how do we prepare for that? Well, I think we help each other. If you it's don't feel isolated. The worst thing you can do is isolate yourself. And a very, very big problem that older people face in this country is loneliness.
Yeah.
They don't know how to connect. They become more and more isolated, and that makes you ill. They have found that people who suffer from all these illnesses, it stems from loneliness. So, let's keep our connections alive. Let's reach out to each other. If you see that somebody's isolating themselves, reach out. I mean, that's why having groups like walking or a yoga group or something where people can come together. But honestly, for me, it's not just the exercise. Like I said, that's just the one part of what we do. It's the talking together, it's the communing together afterwards. That's even more important.
True. Like you said, it's therapeutic. Like the whole event in general where you go in the woods, that's also serene, where you get the chance to talk with now I guess all the strangers are kind of like family as you have been doing it for a long time. So that's also like some like everyone wants a community where they feel like at home. I guess you are the founder of it, and all the people you are helping them, it's really commendable. Yes.
Thank you. Also the other thing that I found that, sort of marketeers have done recently, in recent times, is, saying, this is for the over 50s, and this is for the 20s, and this is for men, and this is for women, and this is for kids. Marketing directly is, to me, it's so divisive. Let's bring it together. You know, people say, "Oh, you should market to the older people." I said, "No, I don't want to exclude anybody. Everybody's important in a community. I mean, look at these communities, their togetherness."
Hello. Okay, Flora, there was a glitch from the internet from your side, reception.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
All right, where were we? Not an issue. And I also saw that, Flora, that you were into like proofreading and all. You used to do that with a lot of authors. So tell me about that as well.
So actually, let me go. I'll go back a little bit because I, while I was working, I decided I wanted to do a degree. Okay, because I wanted to study and I just wanted to do subjects I enjoyed. Because you know, like at school, you've got to do all the subjects, even if you hate them or you're not good at them. So I was already in the career of my dreams. I was in television, I was producing. I loved what it was doing. It suited me really, really well. And I thought, but you know what? I still had that thirst for knowledge. So I thought I'm going to start my degree and I'm going to only do subjects I enjoy. So I did psychology and I did English literature
Oh,
and I did philosophy, you know, just like things for my mind, you know.
mm,
So anyway, and so I guess that's where sort of the English came in and the proofreading and things like that. Because once we moved to this country, I found out then now, you know, I just got married and then I was pregnant and I thought, oh, I can't go back into television because the hours are crazy. I mean, you've got to be out when the story's out. So I used to work all hours, you know, it didn't matter what time it was. And I thought, I can't do that with a baby. So what else can I do? And I landed up almost accidentally working for this author. And she was writing a book called Fearless on Everest. And it was such an amazing journey for both of us because she was writing the story about her great uncle walked up Everest in the 1930s, I think it was. And you can imagine they were wearing like a little, like a suit, like a blazer with a tie and, you know, proper shoes. I'm thinking, how on earth did they get up Everest with that? And actually, funny enough, I think, I can't remember how many years it's been since they went up Everest. And the thing is that the two bodies were found just below the summit.
oh,
And they don't know now, did they die on the way up or did they die on the way down? So, and then very recently it came out in the news that they found parts of his equipment and, you know, so I think they're trying to analyze what happened. So she gave me something to read and she said, "What do you think about this?" And I took out my red pen like a teacher. I said, "Oh, this is a bit repetitive. This is really good. I'm really enjoying that." And she said to me, "Oh, okay. Well, do you want to do the whole book?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to." And that's how I got into that. And since then, I've also worked with an author who wrote a book on the Galapagos Islands. So it's been a journey for me as well. Yeah, as you can tell, I love learning. I love, stories. So as do you. That's why you're interviewing everybody about their stories, right?
yeah, yeah, I'm really intrigued. For me, it's like this is the like when I do this thing, makes my day. Like for me, I'm crazy about this thing to make
Mm,
videos, to meet people, and to know about journey because but I make sure that technology, I make the squeeze the ounce of it and try to use it in a way that makes me better as a person and also for my viewers as well who would know the story of Flora if I hadn't approached you in this way? So it's
yeah.
If we use it in the right manner, it has great potential, you know.
Everybody's got a story to tell. And I think, and that's what, again, what I love about my walkers, especially, I have to say, my 92-year-old walker, who's
Oh,
got
oh,
so many stories to tell. Okay. And he tells them in such detail, and you can't interrupt him because he will tell it to you from the beginning. But his accuracy is astounding. He will tell you on this day, I was this, it was this year, this is how old I was, it was on this street. And I thought, I can't even remember where I was yesterday. And your memory is phenomenal. But that's how you also keep your memory alive, is through the telling of your stories. And the thing is, we learn so much from people's stories if we just take the time to listen, and especially to older people, because older people have got incredible stories to tell. And we learn a lot about our future through looking at the lens, through the lens of history and of the past. And we do that by sharing our stories with each other, and we learn so much from each other.
wow. And when you look back in the past when you started this club, and now it has been 7 years, like you said, it's been 20 years, like in that context. How do you feel about it, Flora? Uh,
You know what? It has changed my life, and what I didn't realize when I went to this walking group, I started just to do some exercise and to meet some people. And I'd never thought it would turn into my business, into my passion, into helping me expand my ideas of what it means to be human, what it means to be part of a community, what it means to be part of a human family, and that we all share the same. We laugh at the same things. We hurt about the same things, and that's what helps us to empathize with one another. Because when we see somebody hurting, our hearts also hurt because we've experienced pain.
mm,
You live long enough, you've been through every emotion. Do you know what I mean? And then, like, you bring children into the equation, and they just bring this energy and this optimism. And I love being around young people too. And so that's fun. I would never exclude anybody. I love being part of, like, we've got a community here where we live. We're all ages and things like that. And I love being part of all of that. I think everybody's needed, everybody's important, everybody plays a role, an important role in keeping our community alive.
wow. And
So
even
don't
in
let the young people go and hide behind the screens. We
mm,
need our young people. We can't allow them to hide. They've got to come and be the future leaders, and we've got to encourage that. We've got to keep talking to our people. I mean, my kids, we had a lot of conversations. The best way to do that, you put them in the car and they're trapped, so there's nowhere to go. And then we have a chat.
mm,
We go out together, and I love that. I have a great relationship with my kids, and I feel very, very grateful for that.
and even the sense of security, like whenever there is some sort of difficulties, you know that you have a community, so whosoever you're gonna call, that person will come to you. So that's also the benefit of it, like having the sense of security. So that
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But the thing is, like for us, because we meet so regularly,
mm,
Tom's, you just have to picture, just come. I mean, one look at you and I know something has happened in your life. So let's have a chat. What's going on? Let's give each other a hug. I said, come on, come after the walk, you'll feel much better. And it's true. And that's why people keep coming. They said to me, we would be lost without this. And I would be lost without it too. I'm not gonna lie.
mm.
I learn just as much from my walkers as they learn from me. It's very much an exchange of energy.
Wow. And are there any like rules, like put your, devices aside while going for
Oh, 100%. Because we don't talk while we're walking, so the phones have to be switched off. I mean, why would you want to talk? You're walking through nature. You know, you miss so much. You'll miss that squirrel running up the tree. You'll miss that bird song. The bird song at the moment is just beautiful. Why would you want to put music on when you can hear birds? Just the little things, the blooming, because we're still in spring, so things are in bloom, the colors, the smells. It's a multi-dimensional experience. And when you're talking to somebody, you miss all of that. I mean, there's plenty of time. I always say to them, save it for coffee. Whatever we're going to talk about, we'll talk about at the end. But it's they're so respectful as well. If I say, okay, warm up's over, let's increase the pace. Everybody stops talking. We pick up the pace. We you get your heart rate up, the blood's pumping all over your body, the endorphins are released. I mean, I don't need to tell you all the benefits of walking or exercise. They're very, very well documented. And the thing is, more and more research is coming out now about the benefits of walking. It is one of the best exercises. It's weight bearing. It's the most natural thing to do to move your body, and we just need to keep moving. When they talk about, being sedentary and sitting for hours at a time, that it's worse. It's like smoking. Well, just get up and go for a short walk. It just, if you're battling, creatively, or you're battling with a problem, get up and go for a walk, go into nature. Every single time, nature always gives back. Always.
Mm, definitely. All right, Flora. On that note, I guess I won't hold you any longer. And thank you for sharing with me and my viewers your the noble profession that you do, and all sort of grateful insights about the things that you do. It really means a lot to me. And thanks a lot for being a part of this podcast. And if possible, we'll also make a part two of it. So I'm really looking forward to that as well.
It'll be my pleasure, honestly. When things get moving for me in my new project, I'd love to come back and talk about that. And,
Definitely.
thank you for connecting with me. Honestly, we are on opposite sides of the world, and here we've made a human connection, and I'm really grateful for that, Janelle. Thank you
Definitely
so much.
a mutual, Flora. And yeah, keep in touch and we'll do this again. Take care.
Lovely, you too.